Hi there, it's your very own physics man, Fawaz Shafi Mahmood. Take out your NCERT textbooks and let's continue with the read along of chapter number 1, Electric Charges and Fields. Let's do a quick recap of what we have been doing till now. We have learned about frictional electricity, unification of electricity and magnetism, electroscope, and while teaching electroscope I taught you triboelectric series as well. Now we are going to learn about conductors and insulators. A metal rod held in hand and rubbed with wool will not show any sign of being charged. Now we learned in the previous video that if a glass rod is rubbed with wool, both acquire charges. But metal rod, if I am rubbing it with wool, it will acquire charge, but this charge will be discharged through our body. Why? Because metal is a conductor, our body is also a conductor, so the charge will not stay in the metal. So it does not show any sign of being charged, but actually it is being charged, but the charge is getting discharged. However, if a metal rod with a wooden or plastic handle is rubbed without touching its metal part, it shows signs of charging. Suppose we connect one end of okay. So here, if you have a metal rod now, but it is held with a plastic handle. Now you are rubbing it with wool, then what will happen? It will acquire charge, but this charge does not get a pathway to flow to the ground through our body because this plastic is an insulator. So the charges will reside here. So that's why it shows signs of charging. Suppose we connect one end of a copper wire to a neutral pith ball and the other end to a negatively charged plastic rod. So suppose you have a negatively charged plastic rod. Okay, you have a negatively charged plastic rod and you are connecting it with a wire. Okay, suppose this is a wire, this is a copper wire, and you are connecting it with a copper wire, and the other end of the copper wire we have some pith balls. So let's say my hand here, this is pith ball. So this plastic rod is connected to the pith ball. What will happen? The charges on the plastic rod will flow through the conducting wire, which is copper wire here, and it will flow to the pith ball. So that's what is mentioned here. So negatively charged plastic rod, the charges will flow and the pith ball will also acquire negative charge. If a similar experiment is repeated with a nylon thread or a rubber band, no transfer of charge will take place from the plastic rod to the pith ball. Why does the transfer of charge not take place from the rod to the ball? Because nylon thread or rubber band are insulating material. Some substances readily allow passage of electricity through them, others do not. Those which allow electricity to pass through them easily are called conductors. They have electric charges or electrons that are comparatively free to move inside the material. Metals, human and animal bodies, and earth are very good examples of conductors. So these conductors, they have valence electrons which are relatively free to move. So these electrons, they can move from one place to another, and so you can charge the body. So if electron is removed from the body, it acquires positive charge, and if electrons are added to the body, it acquires negative charge. Most of the non-metals like glass, porcelain, plastic, nylon, wood offer high resistance to the passage of electricity through them. They are called insulators. So if you have an insulating material and you connect it to some power source, the current will not flow through it because it will offer a high resistance or high blockage. Okay, high opposition to the flow of charges. It does not allow the flow of charges because there is no free charge inside the body. Most substances fall into one of the two classes stated above, either conductor or insulator. But there is a third category of charge called semiconductors, which offer resistance to the movement of charge, which is intermediate between the conductors and insulators. So we know conductors, they have a lot of free electrons for conducting the electricity. Insulators, they don't have much free electrons, so they don't conduct electricity or heat. But semiconductors, they have relatively some amount of electrons, and so they have conductivity which is between conductors and and insulators. But that's not the main way of classifying semiconductors. In semiconductors, the charge or the current is carried by electrons and something else called holes. Holes are vacancies where electrons have been removed. So electrons have been removed. There is a place where there is a vacancy of electrons to come and occupy that place. That place is called hole. We'll learn more about this in the final chapter. So when some charge is transferred to a conductor, it readily gets distributed over the entire surface of the conductor. In contrast, if some charge is put on an insulator, it stays at the same place. So you have a conductor. If I put a charge over here, it will distribute uniformly throughout the surface. But if I'm talking about the insulator, if I keep a charge here, it will not flow to the other part. It will stay at this place because it is an insulator. So there will be no flow of charge. You will learn why this happens in the next chapter. Okay, we'll talk about potential. We'll talk about electric field, and that's how we'll explain why in conductors the charges are residing on the surface and the electric field inside the conductor is zero. We'll talk about that in the next chapter. This property of the material tells you why a nylon or plastic comb gets electrified on combing dry hair or on rubbing, but a metal article like spoon does not. We have already discussed this, that insulators can be charged, conductors cannot be charged. The charges on metal leak through our body to the ground, as both are conductors of electricity. Both the metal and our body are conductors of electricity. When we bring a charged body in contact with the earth, all the excess charge on the body disappears by causing a momentary current to pass to the ground through the connecting conductor, such as our body. So suppose you have a connecting wire or connecting body from the charged place to the ground, then what will happen? The excess charges will flow to the ground. The process of sharing the charges with the earth is called grounding or earthing. This process is called earthing. When the charges are allowed to flow to the ground through some conducting body, this is called grounding or earthing. Earthing provides a safety measure for electrical circuits and appliances. A thick metal plate is buried deep into the earth and thick wires are drawn from this plate. These are used in buildings for the purpose of earthing near the main supply. So usually near your house, there will be a thick metal plate which is buried inside the under the ground, and a wire will be coming out of it and it will be passing through the walls. If you just roam around, you can find this wire near your house. Now this wire is connected to the third point, earth point. A thick metal plate is buried deep into the earth and thick wires are drawn from this plate. These are used in buildings for the purpose of earthing near the main supply. The electric wiring in our houses has 3 wires: live, neutral and earth. The first two carry electric current from the power station, and the third is earthed by connecting it to the buried metal plate. So the buried metal plate which I was talking about, it is connected with a thick wire, and this thick wire is connected to the neutral to the earth point. Metallic bodies of the electric appliances such as electric iron, refrigerator, TV are connected to the earth wire. Why? When any fault occurs or live wire touches the metallic body, the charge flows to the earth without damaging the appliance and without causing any injury to the humans. This would have otherwise been unavoidable since the human body is a conductor of electricity. So I've drawn something over here to make you understand this thing. So this is you can see 3 points, in the power socket you can see 3 points here. You can see 3 points here. Okay, so one of them will be the live wire, the other one will be the neutral wire, and the third one will be earth wire. Okay, now earth wire will be connected to the ground. This is the symbol for grounding. This is the symbol for grounding. Okay, and it will be connected to the appliance. So when I connect, for example, I'll show you here. So this one, this will be earth. This will be connected to the earth wire. Okay, so this will be connected to the metallic body of the appliance. So whichever appliance is there, the metallic body will be connected to the earth wire. Why is this necessary? Suppose some short circuit happens, or this live wire, when the current is flowing, this red color shows the current flow. So when current flows, suddenly maybe the current leaks to the metallic body. If the current leaks to the metallic body, then what will happen? If a person touches the electric appliance, he will feel shock. So to avoid that, the metallic body is connected to the earth. So what will happen? Instead of the current flowing through our body, it will flow through the earth wire. So you are saved, and the appliance is also saved. Got it? So that's what is written over here. Okay, so that is the purpose of earthing, and that's why you have, instead of live wire and neutral wire, you have one more wire, which is earth wire. So I hope you have understood. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. And until we meet again, it's goodbye from me. Happy physicsing.